This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where tonight my friends and I will be playing the Mothership role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is called Johnson Squared. It was written by Joshua Luke Cable and Samuel T. McNally. It's available from Peregrine Coast Press. Our game warden is David Gassaway, and this is episode 3. Our recap will be given by Billy Chung as his character, Android Moore. So without any further delays, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Billy?
Thank you, David. Computer. New log entry. Encryption level. Omega 7. Location, Chimera Moon. Client, the Janus Corporation. Mission, locate the missing storage device containing data vital to the Serum Project. The Serum, a mutagenic compound under research by Janus Corporation, capable of transmuting any biological matter. To its researchers, the cloned Johnsons, a medical miracle. To Janus Corporation, the perfect weapon. Mission update. Despite our best efforts, we are no closer to identifying the culprit of this theft, their means, motive, or opportunity. Although our investigations have uncovered the existence of a possible colony of mutated Johnson rejects, undeniable proof of a compromised security system, and a previously unknown ritual every Friday involving insectoid fajitas and schlurp, the only suspect we were able to eliminate is Security Director Hudson, who currently appears to be suffering from an acute onset of acute microencephaly and is currently vomiting their internal organs out on the floor of the cafeteria. Curious. Perhaps crewman Fulmer's efforts to expose the director with 2 vials of the transparent liquid respected from the Red Dr. Johnson's quarters is related. Addendum. The peculiar personalities of the individual Drs. Johnson continue to confuse our team's expectation and interfere with our efforts. How so very disappointing, given the cold, logical brilliance of their predecessor. How so very, very human. End log. Back to you, Thom and David.
Thank you, Crewman Moore. Yes, as that data log indicates, the security for the station has been substantially undermined as the security officer, after ingesting some station coffee, while surrounded by your investigators and the crew of the facility, began vomiting up his guts, fell on the floor, grew a tough rind. Chauncey thought that perhaps Red was hoarding some antidote, or maybe he was just curious, took some of Red's serum that was hidden in his habitation, gave the good man a second jab, at which point his head inflated into a veiny purple mass. And as a result, there was an overall challenge to the sanity of all assembled. Each one of you, in fact, failed a sanity save. And so now you're all going to take a 20-sided die, the panic die, and see whether you can hold it together. And if not, how your nervous system responds. Dr. Ego?
16.
16 over your current stress of?
4.
You thought you were holding it together very well, and now you are filled with a roiling, uncontrollable rage. You're
I
going
don't
to,
know. Did he die of poison or did he die of you injecting him?
as the calm and methodical Dr. Yaren turns quite red himself and begins yelling, the rest of you gain 1 stress. Dr. Yaren, you also get a advantage on your damage rolls for the next period of time. Not that you're
Does
much
my
of a
stress,
tough
in
guy.
fact, go up?
Your stress was unaffected by that.
Hold on, isn't it that you passed your check if you roll higher than your stress? Because as your stress goes up, you have a
Of course.
greater chance of failure.
Of course. Thank you. How silly of me. Yes, Dr. Yaren, we're accustomed to having to roll under things, but that's not how panic works. You felt a strong twinge of frustration, and that was all.
So everything I said before?
We take it all back.
And we all don't get that additional stress from
None of you.
It was your internal voice. You were like, here's what's actually going on, but I got it under control.
Yep. And once it's done, you can't undo it. So I might as well examine the body.
Everyone else passed your panic checks as well?
I didn't.
Aha. What's your current stress, Dameron?
5, and I rolled a 4.
There we go.
I passed mine. Barely, but I did.
Very good. Petra, more? Good.
I passed mine.
Very good. That's actually more in keeping with what we'd expect too. If everybody also panicked just because one person kind of exploded in the cafeteria, nothing would ever get done. Maureen Dameron, you are overwhelmed. So for the next 10 minutes, you have a disadvantage on any roll, and your stress does go up by 1. So you're now at 6.
Oh, and when I panic, everybody else around me needs to make a fear save.
Because Marine's panicking is scary.
And how fair save is
D100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We only use the D20 for panic.
I rolled a 98, which is way above my fear.
Yeah, I also failed.
I failed as well.
Well, all fear saves made by close friendly players are at disadvantage because I'm an android.
Well, I think they all failed anyway. So
yes.
And failing fear means your stress goes up 1.
Stress, yeah.
Yeah. And it could trigger a panic check, but you all just survived 1, so we're now resolved. Dr. Yarn has gone over to see whether how things are going with Isaac.
I don't have a gun. Fuck.
No, you don't have a gun.
I go for a firearm.
That calms the rest of us down.
Why don't you, Dameron, though, let's see. When you think about not having a gun, what does that make you think regarding the security officer who was collapsed onto the floor?
He might have a gun. So I will go for his gun while he is mutating.
Moore is there with the bioscanner already, so he can correlate his information with Dr. Yaren. What you can see looking over the synthetic shoulder at the bioscanner is that while there's still motion inside Isaiah Hudson's body, it seems to be slowing. So either something is congealing or it's fading. None of the organs that you'd expect to see on a body scanner of a human being are what you would hope to find.
Doctor, this is most peculiar. and I show the scanner results to Dr. Yaren.
I'm at a loss. This is caused. Are the Johnsons all in here?
The Johnsons are certainly all in here, and they have been slowly sort of gathering in a circle around the prone form. Some of them are making little notes.
Is this something that's caused by your transmutation liquid?
It's certainly within the realm of possibility that Mr. Hudson ingested some of the mutagenic serum or a variant thereof. And I believe, Red, you want to explain what exactly your process is? As I've already said, I'm trying to make an improvement on the serum. I'm trying to use the serum, to particular ends. I have a sort of side project that certainly isn't meant to be double dosed into somebody who's already undergoing some sort of mutagenic process. So, and then, perhaps he was briefly rather more intelligent than he used to be, but I think it's gone rather too far.
Well, this mutagen seems to have partially transformed his physiology. It's like he's I could do an autopsy and see what the changes are in the tissue, but his organs have been pushed to the side or transmuted, and I mean, for all intents and purposes, he's become a giant penis.
Blue says, as we've described, the ongoing process of narrowing down the use of the serum for particular ends is, a very complex situation. We don't have any idea what the dosage was or what exact strain it was. And then to receive a second, we'll have to perform an autopsy, obviously.
Yeah. Has this happened to any of your other specimens? This particular odd mutation?
Have you made dickheads before?
Red says, I see that none of you have made it to the specimen room yet.
No, that's where we were about to go to.
Seems as though your investigation hasn't proceeded very far, but this particular aberration is unfamiliar to me, but also this is an unusual combination, so who can say?
I am curious how the director was contaminated in the first place.
I can tell you this much, Yellow says. These sorts of things haven't happened around here before until you people showed up.
Are these serums not under constant inventory control?
Of course they are. I don't know, but...
Except for the stuff that was in Red's room.
That is correct. Dr. Red, how did you manage to compromise the existing security to secure your supply?
The only regard in which that question could be something other than intrusive is in the degree to which it is tedious. I brought in a thermos. It's not exact, just because I can't go everywhere in this goddamn compound I want to, because of this man's security protocols or this former whatever, doesn't mean it's not difficult. It doesn't mean it's difficult in a laboratory of this size and complexity to grab a sample.
It appears that the controls designed to prevent theft and misappropriation are designed ineffectively.
I think you're missing the point, Robot, Yellow says. Nobody's ever dosed another human being with this without their express agreement before. This isn't normal. This isn't okay. I don't think he's all right.
Does that include the specimens?
Do I have his gun?
I'm not there yet. I'm not there anymore, so I'm standing there arguing. So I'm not in your way, I'm saying.
Yes. If no one attempts to interfere, then Marine Colton is going to remove Isaiah Hudson's Bulwark revolver. Just a nice, chunky Blade Runner-looking thing that you will know from past experience does 2d10 damage per shot.
Doctors, the transmission of this fluid, if it's not in, does it have to be intravenous, or could it have been slipped into his food or his drink, his beverage? Is ingestion a possibility?
The mutagenic serum can be applied topically. It can be applied internally. It can be applied as a mist. Certainly, an injection is the most potent mechanism, as it is for so many substances, directly into the bloodstream.
Do you have a means of detecting if it's contaminated this facility? If it's on the surface over there by the coffee pot, or?
That's an interesting question. I suppose some, yes. No, no. It's not like it glows in ultraviolet light or something. I mean, it is not a translucent, tasteless, odorless substance. As you know, it has a somewhat greenish yellow hue. Perhaps we'll call in the cleaning robot just to give everything a quick rub down. And he goes and presses one of the speaker buttons and says, Darwin, the dining area needs to be scrubbed. We should probably leave. Darwin's very thorough.
Is Isaiah still alive? Is he moving?
I think the bioscanner is saying he's fading, or at least something inside him is slowly not moving, but he was throwing out all his organs, so probably not.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot him.
Which makes us all jump.
Yeah, all the Johnsons leap into the air, and it's very loud. It's, this is not really an indoors weapon under the best of circumstances. And, the polymer tile floor, is probably going to toss the slug back out through another part of him, but it's probably slowed down, what with the chitinous rind that was developing on his skin. Dr. Yaren and Robot Moore, the bioscanner indicates that there's no longer anything moving of its own volition in Isaiah Hudson's body.
He's just a pile of protein, goo, and
well, the good news is, if one could say such a thing after such a tragedy, is that now we can go and perform an autopsy on Mr. Hudson and see what we can determine about the quantity of mutagenic serum and its form of entry, and perhaps something about the interaction between the two, at least, doses he was given. If somebody wants to help me take him off to the lab,
absolutely,
I believe to cut him up.
I believe I would be best suited because contamination would not be a concern. Let me help you, Doctor.
I want to see this zoo of yours.
Yellow says, it's hardly a zoo. I mean, everyone has experiments involving biology, involve specimens, but it's not as though we stand around eating pretzels and poking the things with sticks. And you're not going to either. God's sakes. More, you and Red will have no trouble hefting up Isaiah. He was a substantial fellow, but he's slightly less so now. And the chitinous ridges make him easy to grab. And once you get out of the commissary, you'll be able to find some sort of gurney to put him on.
Just before that happens, I say to Mo quietly, where he can hear me, I'm like, make sure you get a complete pathology. Make sure you test to see. I give him a list of things to test. I want to get to the bottom of this. They're lying to us, or you make sure they don't try to cover up.
Yes, Doctor.
So, only Moore is going to the autopsy room with Red? What are the rest of you
don't want
about?
to touch anything. Shall we go see their mutated menagerie, Dameron?
Yeah,
I
that
see you've
sounds.
got that gun.
What about it?
I think we should consider Dameron Colton to be in charge of security from this point forward.
At that, Erica Debicki, throws up her hands and says, "This is an outrage."
Well, we don't have a security guy anymore.
No, no, I'm perfectly happy to have your Marine stand in for the time being in case things get further out of control. But for God's sakes, you people are supposed to be solving this problem. And now you're not only injecting my security staff with some unknown substance, but then you're shooting his body? Who are you people? You came highly recommended.
I was putting him out of his misery.
And
And I'd
listen, when
happily do the same for any of you should this incident repeat itself.
and
Well, this
everybody
is
else
correct,
was,
Director. The Marine has had past experience doing the exact same thing. This is within his normal parameters.
and
Well,
if
that's
y'all are gonna
very
sit around
reassuring.
twiddling your thumbs for too long, I'm gonna do something. So I did something. And I'll
Let's
walk over
just
and put the empty syringe on one of the tables for the cleaning bot to eventually get it.
we should test those. See what's in them.
I
I'll
take
give
the
give
vials,
them
yeah.
more. Make sure. All right. This has
I'm
been
Debicki
extremely
says,
stressful.
"I'm going to my office. Don't bother me there. I have to call the company. This is a nightmare. Just find the day to drive and get the hell out of here, would you people?"
Mr. Bickey, bear in mind that now we have for sure a murderer on our hands.
Are you referring to your associate, the Marine?
No, I'm referring to whoever laced the
You're
security
referring to the
guards.
pilot with the jabby pilot.
That didn't cause the problem.
Yeah, I would think he was dying before I did anything.
Well, whatever it is, solve it, all right? You've been here for hours already. Very highly recommended. She stomps off. And in her wake, you notice the only now surviving non-Johnson on the station, the acquisitions fellow, and
Alec.
yeah, he's getting himself another snack from the auto chef before the cleaning bot shows up.
I don't think Erica likes us that much.
What gives you that impression?
Let's go look at the,
Corporate
as the
type,
doc said, menagerie.
corporate types are all the same.
Yeah.
When shit hits the fan, they don't really know how to take charge.
As we're walking down the hallway, I'm like, didn't you notice that Alec didn't seem at all beat up about the security guard being killed? And he went back for more food. I
That
personally
is
couldn't eat.
interesting.
Well,
For the record,
we haven't finished respecting all of their belongings, so
this is true. For the record, I'm still holding on to one vial and one syringe.
I think
Well,
there were
for-
three, weren't there?
Were there three that I am holding on to two vials and two syringes?
I think that was what you found.
Okay.
Well, then, for the record, Dameron, I take back everything I said. Do anything in your power that you want to find out who's fucking up here. Ransack their rooms.
I'm glad you've finally come around on this very important issue.
Well, I'm a scientist. I had to give them the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, I don't want to end up as a giant dickhead.
Hopeless. So as you guys make your way out of the canteen as a group, you're all going toward the science sector of the complex.
Yeah.
I think only Dr. Yaren has seen Darwin before, the cleaning bot. Like, sort of rectangle with a roundish head and some various sort of grabby arms and tubes and things. And it sort of makes some whistles and beeping noises. And it stops at the canteen door and it puts out an appendage, and the panel next to it says Alpha accepted, and the canteen door opens. And you guys
The
go into
cleaning
the
robot has alpha security clearance.
It has to be able to get into everything here to clean.
Hey, I wonder if, while we're on the subject of violence, you don't think anybody stashed the data drive in the cleaning bot? do we?
We should check it.
Let it clean and then we'll check it.
I
That's
want
a
to
good
search it
figure.
now before it sucks up that serum.
Oh,
We don't want
well,
to get contaminated, do we?
is there a halt button on it or a?
Well, unfortunately, you guys passed it in the hallway, so you've got to use your own alpha clearance card to get back in there. And as you approach the door, you see through the little glass window with the mesh on it as Darwin sucks up the spilled coffee cup from the floor and slurps up the spilled coffee into its core and begins mopping up the area, the fluids around the body, etc.
Yeah, I
Is
probably
it
should have tested
spraying-
the coffee too.
Is
Oh,
it
well.
spraying like disinfectants and things like that? Would it be safe for them to enter at all? Because I'm away with the autopsy, but would it be safe?
Probably not.
I mean, you're actually all like on, you have to go through
okay.
decontamination even to enter the lab sector. So you get left as a group. Just some of you have a bloody corpse on a cart, and the rest
Besides,
of you.
after this incident, we should not be splitting up, except for the robot. I don't think
Agreed.
anybody's going to infect the robot.
We should
If
wear
we need
gloves.
I could later access these systems and disable the cleaning droid for us to examine later.
Yes, we need to make sure that nobody stashed it in that little bot.
I think it's just got a little switch on the back for maintenance.
Don't all robots just have a switch? Turn them up.
The modern
Well, all
ones,
robots
it's a
have a
signal that
switch
you
if
have to
you're,
send them. But
I have an on-off switch right here, and I hold up the gun.
well, we're
So
relying on you.
if you're progressing toward the laboratory section of the compound, so you go into the decontamination center. There's soothing music playing. You have to, stick your hand in a thing, and there's little spritz, and there's an ultraviolet thing, and they process you one by one, and some sensor makes some noises when you push Isaiah's body through, but nothing stops you from proceeding. There's, biohazard containment things by each door. And as you're exiting the cleaning area, some of the Johnsons are coming behind you because lunchtime is over, ruined, whether or not everyone's, appetite is satisfied. So they're going to be getting back to work in the lab, the main lab.
See, Petra, see, Jonesy. The thing is that normally a vaccine or something like that, it's not something you can ingest because your body doesn't work like that. It has to get into your bloodstream. But the fact that they said that it could be topical, they could literally put it in an atomizer and spray the entire facility with it. And we'd all become things.
Well, I see one clear path to making sure we all walk out of here, but you're not going to like it.
What do you suggest?
Well, the only way to prevent this is obviously to find the person responsible. However, I value us far more than I value them. So it may become prudent to simply deal with the problem forthrightly.
Assuming there are no fail safes that they have implemented, like a dead man switch, I would agree with you.
They seem to be. They're actually here with us, but we're talking quietly. It would.
Yeah, I
seem
mean
that
they're
they
kind of
don't
doing
seem
the cycle after you guys. You can proceed.
It doesn't quite seem like they have any fail safes in place. How does an extremely dangerous substance like that get used without there being horrible security? Well, Dr. Britt's walking around with it in a thermos and taking it to his room.
It's because
Well, and we also know that people or things go outside, go through the door. There's no protection here. So it's really insecure.
Because Dr. Yaren, they are, simply put it, fucking idiots.
I
Still,
kind of agree.
the corporation should have standard policies, standards, and procedures around appropriate containment of biohazard. This is most peculiar.
I mean, any scientist, well, there is the thing. Any scientist who's concerned with the fact that he's got his own life, maybe he's married and has kids, he would be concerned with safety and security. But when you can just get replaced by another clone, you don't
Well,
have to be as careful. You don't have to be as safe. For
would they
we
not
know,
be
they could
worried about contamination of the batter?
think that they might just find that fascinating. For all we know, they've been pumping this stuff into the atmosphere of the planet and transmuting everything on the planet. We don't know what that jungle looked like 10 years ago.
Fascinating.
Well, terrifying.
Again,
How
Or
much are we getting paid again? Is it worth it?
I mean, regardless, I don't think we really. They shuttled us in here and then left. I don't know so much that we have a way off until we've finished our job. Or
The recovery of the data drive is 50 kilocredits each. If you find the culprit as well, you get a bonus of another 10 kilocredits. And there are other potential perks as well. It should be a very lucrative job. And as Chauncey said, the shuttle's coming back to take you away, but it might not take you away if you're not done.
And I'll note that
Here's
Marine.
they can just grow more of these fuckers, right?
Theoretically, yes,
So
indefinitely.
if
Well,
we
they're
get their data
constantly growing.
drive, if they all, for some reason, don't survive, but we have the data drive, they can surely just grow replacements.
They can, but we do not have the data drive. And this would severely compromise our relationship with Janus Corp.
Finding the data drive would be much easier with a smaller number of variables.
Could you not merely contain them in a holding cell?
Yeah, they might know something too.
There's moral and ethical problems that you're dealing with there. I mean, kill them all, let God sort them out is a really drastic thing.
Oh,
I get what you're saying.
There is no God.
Well, you know what I'm saying. I'm using it figuratively. You could exterminate everybody in this entire facility and then just search it thoroughly and find the drive.
Again, we can do this already. If we do think they will affect our work, we could merely put them in the holding cell, disable them.
Speaking of which, let's get busy. Let's go find this thing.
I will go to the autopsy room then.
We can talk all day. Let's find this disc, make our money, and get out of here.
So again, the main laboratory room with a bunch of different equipment in it that Dr. Yarn has already visited is what you get to after the decontamination room chamber. And there are a number of rooms off of that. The cloning chamber that Dr. Yarn also visited is L2. The anatomy lab, where Red is steering more, is L7. It's just, it's toward the end, near the corner over there. I think yes, well, we'll have to clean it up a little bit before we get to Isaiah, but that's no trouble. And the specimen holding area is at L6, and all of the rest of you are going there. One more goes with Red to the autopsy.
Yeah.
We'll start just then with Moore and Red. He holds his card up and says Gamma approved. The door slides open. He goes in. There are two examination tables. One of them has a sheet pulled over a hominid form, and the other one is uncovered, and it certainly looks like something that mutated. It's about the size of I guess, a large dog, the body on that table, plastic coated stainless steel. It's got a very squiddy head with a number of maybe eyes, maybe light sensitive organs, but instead of tentacles, it's got articulated furry limbs, maybe 10 or 12 of them. And it's also been cut open. It's got some forceps. There's a couple of, devices on articulated arms that are pointed at it. And Red says, yes, I finished with this thing. It's a curiosity, but I don't think it really advanced anything. Did make some curious sounds before it died, but I'm done with it. And he presses a button, and the table tilts, and the mutant slides into a sort of trolley, and he covers it and pushes it to the side. And I'll just take this to the incinerator later. Let's have a look at Mr. Hudson, shall we?
I have thought, Dr. Red, that your colleagues mentioned testing the serum on live samples is not common.
Well, we don't, I mean, I don't know who you were speaking to. We don't generally start with animals. We start with replicable tissue.
Correct.
But sort of a neutral substrate. But they turn into things that might very well, wiggle around and the like.
Including that one that it wasn't a local animal that you exposed to the serum.
No, I mean, the jungles here are pretty icky, and we don't really have a full database of what's out there. So starting with a neutral substrate for all of the experiments makes things tidier, controlling your inputs, that sort of thing. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
That is logical. And I walk towards the covered sort of hominid. And would this be an exposure to solvents using the serum? And I pull the tarp to see what's under it.
The other table has it has a bipedal human-sized form. It's face down. It might have been a Johnson of sorts.
I'm going to tilt it as I say, and what is the effect of exposure to life forms with some degree of intelligence? Have you been able to notice measurable increases in intellectual capacity per your hypothesis?
Again, it's about the specific train of the serum, and it's about how it's applied. Yes, the samples that I was working with independently that your friend absconded with have been subjected to some of our gene line because of our unusual intelligence. I was hoping to steer it in that direction. Of course, macrocephaly is not necessarily part of the desirability, although I did notice that the vascular system developed rather rapidly, which would be helpful for supplying the necessary oxygen for advanced cerebral activity. It's hardly ideal, however, to use it in such an uncontrolled circumstance. You really can't tell at all. So, do you want to assist with Mr. Hudson, or were you just helping me carry?
I'll assist with the cutting of the proverbial dickhead.
All right, so you're going to spend a half an hour in there, and we'll see how much you can determine based on that bizarre morphology that you find. The rest of you, how are you going into the specimen housing?
Suited up, if possible, with gloves and respirators.
Yeah, there are actually sort of full hazmat things in the clean room leading to the lab. So if you want to prepare yourself with that sort of thing, that's no problem.
I don't want to be exposed to any of this substance. I'm becoming a bit paranoid about it. It could be aerosol. Could be used as a terrible weapon. Drop it on a planet and
I mean,
mutate
and you're
every
right.
living
It could
thing.
already be in the air here. They might be microdosing us.
They're not careful. So, um, if it were up to me, I would quarantine the entire planet. So we go in, it's just dressed up and go in.
Are you sending the Marine in first in case things are out of control? Or is your curiosity taking the lead?
Well, he probably pushes me out of the way. What would you say, Dameron? Are you taking the lead?
Yeah, I'll take the lead. Gun in hand.
All right, you flash your alpha card, the door slides open. It's the specimen housing unit is long and narrow. It's not that different, actually, Dr. Yaron, from the cloning unit that you saw. There are about 30 plasteel cages, the size of, say, rather large dog pens. And near the door, there's uh, uh, a sort of pole mounted floor to ceiling that has a control panel on it that you can see they have friendly buttons that show, different sorts of potential control mechanisms. Um, there's a sort of water droplet next to a little power hose looking thing, and there's a little happy dancing fire icon and that sort of things. Um, Most of the individual chambers appear to be empty, but not all of them. Um, are you looking for anything in particular, or just want to sort of get a feel
I
for
want to
what's
see
in
the
here?
extent of the horrors that they've created. Yeah.
I'm looking for the disc.
Mhm. What do you have any particular ideas about how it might be disguised in here, or are you just sort of ignoring the life forms and looking for a proper little recognizable rectilinear chunk of metal and plastic?
I'm gonna leave the life forms to the dock and look through the rest of the room.
Good. Okay, so the first occupied housing unit um, has a little digitally printed label on the clear front. Um, and it's also got an icon next to it. So it's labeled PB LS5 Ceramacata amphibious, and it's got a little icon of a pair of headphones on the little label. Um, and inside, there's just a sphere, maybe a bit larger than a basketball, that is rocking around on its base evenly. If you look closely, it doesn't appear to be perfectly smooth. It has kind of uh, joins, intersecting lines, as though it were like plates that fit together. And it's
Not
just
unlike a soccer ball.
right. No, not unlike they're not geometrically regular that way, but yeah, it's a sort of bone or ivory color, and it's just moving around.
The Latin doesn't mean anything to me, or
I mean,
They're
the amphibious part seems straightforward, but the rest of it, might be sort of house jargon.
the hell is
It's
that? I mean, we have a bunch of mad scientists here. They're just making shit. The problem is they don't think about the consequences of it.
Dr. Yaren, from the way I look at it, all scientists are this way. Tucked away in every corner of the galaxy doing the same shit.
Too smart and too bored.
Well, you seem to forget that every piece of technological advance and every health advance that we've ever had has been a bunch of scientists fiddling around. So you owe that to them. It's a matter of ethics or non-ethics. And I don't
Well,
think there's any ethics going on here at all.
well, Doctor, I would be perfectly content uh, beating each other to death with sticks and stones. Hunting, gathering,
Which makes you typical of every other soldier in the universe. And if it was for them, we would all have been blown to smithereens a long time ago.
the
So
next occupied cell is a few rows down on the opposite side. It's a little cramped in its plasteel container because it's the size of a small adult human. Its little placard refers to it as J4-NU5. And it's got a little water droplet icon next to it, and it's titled Fractal Morph. And the roughly humanoid shape inside is shiny and dark purple in color. And it has sort of human features sort of developing and then receding into the surface. So you look at it and you see an ear form and then be reabsorbed. You see, one of the limbs articulate some fingers and then it becomes a simple sort of rounded fist again. Its bottom surface spreads out a little bit as if it's more or significantly fluid.
this must be the result of hundreds and hundreds of experiments. My guess is that most of the experiments are not viable. They just die. These are the couple or few that have managed to survive. But to what point? What was the symbol on the previous one?
Earphones.
Earphones.
And in fact, this one, the purple form in there, the fractal morph, you can hear a gentle sloshing as the bits develop. Most of them, again, seem like a familiar part of a human body, but little vestigial wings sort of develop and are reabsorbed. Or you'll see, a bit of an antenna develop and slough back into it. It's moving around.
Like it's randomly using various bits of DNA.
What
Lots
was
of
what was the letter code of the first one?
PBLS5.
EBL.
The second one is J4NUS, J4 hyphen
Janus.
NUS.
As the one. You think they're just being cute, naming it Janus like that?
Two-faced, face on each side. Two-faced God. What would PBLS5? Peebles? Pebbles?
Pebbles,
Janus
maybe.
is also the name of the company that owns this
yeah.
station.
That's what I was driving at.
Wait, what's the name of the company again?
Janus
Corp.
Corp.
Janus Corporation. Oh, okay, I get it. Fractal morph. Let's move on to the next one. There's got to be some answers here.
As you say fractal morph and shake your head, the purple front of it develops features like yours, even imitating your glasses, and it shakes back and forth and then is reabsorbed.
That's an interesting reaction.
Yeah.
I go up to it and I do this.
And one of the limbs lifts up and grows a little loop, and it actually folds back into the hand and recedes that way rather than going back into the mass.
It's a mimic. It's mimicking.
Meanwhile, Petra is ignoring you and poking around the space. It's quite orderly. There aren't a lot of, they're not like utility drawers and things. It seems like the surfaces are designed so that if, say, something got dropped or spilled or whatever, it wouldn't go underneath something. So it's pretty orderly. You do, however, find a locker that's built into the wall not far from the door, and the little control stand. And inside there are some interesting looking tools.
Interesting, like science guy kind of interesting, or
Interesting, like emergency use materials.
emergency use.
So upon inspection, for example, there's something that's obviously designed to fire darts.
Ah,
Yeah, there's a couple of potentially useful things there if you want to muck about.
you bet. And also I'm telling the doc and the Marine and Chauncey as well. Hey Chauncey, take a look at these things.
All right.
Looks like we got a dart gun. Not sure what else is in here.
Okay. So we're going to take a couple of station turns for you to examine those, but you can, in fact, you might find these things useful. There is something that you eventually, turning around, you find a little label on it. It's a specimen control pole. It's basically a thwacker. It's an extendable billy club that's got a slightly flexible end that's got a weight in it, so you could whack something pretty good with it. And there is a folding dart rifle. And it's got a little cartridge with 4 darts in it, but as you mess about with it, it can only fit one at a time. You assume they're tranquilizing, but they don't come with specifications. But you can make it kind of compact. It folds out twice, so you could easily slip it into an outfit. And in the less lethal specimen containment tools category is the electrified water jet. You can spray zap something that's getting out of control. Doesn't look like the power source doesn't suggest that it would kill anybody, but it's probably very unpleasant.
Is that something that's easy to carry as well?
It's a little bulkier just because the water tank, it's not compressed, but
well, I'll take the folding dart rifle with the 4 darts for now, and it's good to know that these other things are here for when we go outside, which we're going to have to do because that's where the fucking disc is.
I'll take the electrified water shooter.
Like
Sounds
a stun
fun.
gun.
All right, so that exploration takes a little while. Meanwhile, the Marine and the nerd, I assume, are carrying on.
We are.
The next little, the next specimen, uh, its label is EA-3TC.
EA-3TC.
Mm-hmm.
The symbol.
And the symbol is it looks like a Trivial Pursuit pie. It's a circle divided into pie shapes or pizza slices. Uh, and it appears to be a sheep, a normal wool-bearing Terran sheep asleep on
Electric?
its side. No, no organic.
Sleep on its side, though. That's weird. Don't they sleep kind of curled up on the ground?
I don't know fuck about sheep.
Um, do you lean in to see if it's breathing evenly? Appears to
Yeah.
be breathing very unevenly. It appears that its side is kind of writhing or rippling.
And none of these have dates on them.
No, there may be, it's possible that, the documentation is in the main lab or.
Right. I think it's deceptive, but it might have been recently infected. I don't see much, except that it is kind of writhing there on the sides. You see?
I see something.
Yeah, you keep looking, and then the fleece is several centimeters thick, but occasionally you get a glimpse of something sort of small and red moving in and out of of the of the wool.
This is a horror show, a freak show.
Maybe something's eating the sheep.
Oh, right. It's EA3TC, and then the little symbol with the circle and the jagged edges, and carrion worms is what it's called.
Yeah, it's eating the sheep.
The sheep's just food. How are these things contained? Are they in like sealed glass enclosures?
They're plasteel containers, so they're harder than plastic, but the translucency is controllable based on how it's compounded, so that the sides are opaque. There's no reason to have specimens looking at each other. You can hear the carrion worms writhing if you lean in. You could hear the slurping of the purple figure. You couldn't hear the PBL S5 at all. Is your curiosity satisfied?
Yeah, for this one. Disgusting. These are abominations, but that's for me to comment on somebody else's scientific experiments.
There you go.
For all we know, that one there can cure space cancer.
Space cancer.
Oh, yeah, you don't know about that yet.
The final occupied cell in this row is darker than the others have been. Again, they have individual sort of,
Environments, yeah.
yeah. It's labeled A0-23C. praying phantom.
Praying or praying?
Praying.
Like a praying mantis.
Yeah. And you sort of look around in the shadowy cell, and there's something that's shiny but very dark. So it's hard to make out up in the corner the way it is.
I'm fully embraced for something to jump out of the shadow and scare us. So
Well, you peer in, and again, probably chitinous. It's shiny, it's black. It's hard to make out the whole body shape, but what you can tell is that whatever limbs there are appear to be to have lots of jagged, sharp-looking edges. So
it's like from that old Earth movie, Alien. What's more is they're probably starting with a lot of indigenous fauna of this planet. They don't know what they're doing. How long have they been doing this? 150 years?
They've been at it for a while.
You find the disc in there anywhere, Doc?
Nope, nothing so far. Just
Let's
weird,
keep moving.
monstrous things.
There's like a billy club here if anybody wants something to defend themselves with. Because we're going to go outside. So
Let's think for a moment. Let's put this all together in our heads. What seems most likely? Somebody didn't like the security guard, so they got rid of him because he was causing a problem. You don't murder somebody unless they're causing you some problem. We know they admitted that they have let some of their clones, inviolable clones, go out into the wilderness. They're delivering supplies to them occasionally. That doesn't seem like a bad thing, but somebody went missing and their data is gone. It sounds so odd. It sounds odd to me that if the data was created by these 7 scientists, that even if the thing is gone, the 7 scientists could simply repeat their processes and
I had the
recreate the
same
data.
thought. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Why they can't just redo it all.
well, maybe there's a certain level of chaos in the serum. And also, how would they know what to reproduce without their lab notes?
Because they've already worked on it once. They just have to follow along the same. Wouldn't be as hard as you think. That makes me start to wonder if the reason why we're here and they've offered us so much money is these crazy experiments.
Well, then we go back to what I was discussing earlier.
We may have to. Or at least confine them. The truth is, if there's a conspiracy, they could be moving the evidence so that we don't find it. Every time we turn our backs and walk somewhere else, they're moving evidence around.
And that's why they killed Hudson, is because he saw something on the camera or one of his security monitors or something.
Honestly, I hope that the motivation is downright murder, because I don't want to think that the motivation is just let's just try this stuff on him and see what happens. Because they'll just as easily do that to us.
I mean, I think that's a pretty decent possibility of what it is.
I'm thinking that we might need to just leave.
I know, but we are waiting on a shuttle. I don't know of any way to call that shuttle back. Actually, I think it.
I'm sure Debicki knows.
Yeah, Debicki
Look,
probably
look,
knows.
we've been in dangerous places before. This is a lot of money. Let's just work on finding the disc. We'll get out of here when we get out of here. We can handle these guys. They're just a bunch of dweebs, bunch of nerds.
Well, Petro, when we go into a dangerous situation, let's say a ship is leaking radiation, you put on radiation stuff and you protect yourself from the
Yeah,
radiation.
we got these on.
But in this case, we don't know where the danger is or what it is. These things could be feeding us tanks of oxygen laced with mutagens. For all we know, maybe they want us to carry it outside the facility. Maybe they want us to go home and spread the germs.
Well, then that's what you were just talking about doing. So, like, let's not do what they want if that's what they're doing. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's find that disc. Figure out why the disc is missing. Let's, knock some heads. Let's make our money.
I think my stress level needs to go up a couple points
That's fair.
because
Where's the next place to search?
We haven't finished going through all the rooms yet.
Yeah, let's.
There are unexplored habitations. You haven't been in the you haven't looked at the stewards area or the security area. You
Right.
haven't been in the utility sector where the reactor is, etc.
Yeah.
There's plenty of places to go.
Let's go to Hudson's space and see, maybe he found something and that's why they knocked him off.
Yes, going to the security control
I'm
center would
sticking
be
with you
very
guys.
prudent.
I think at this point I'd rather be behind Dameron's gun than anywhere else.
The intercom crackles both in the autopsy room and the specimen containment area, and Debicki calls out and says, "It's been another hour. Is there any progress you want to report? Or are you just fucking around out there?"
I look at Dr. Red for his report on the autopsy.
He's wearing protective gear. But he's not worried about how much gore he gets on him. It's interestingly varied in color. He says he's been like putting things in stainless steel or plasteel containers as he goes, making some notes on a tablet. But basically everything he's been saying sounds like jargon. It's not as though you don't know what the cause of death is. Rapid excruciating mutation was the cause of death, compounded by he's like jotted down some formulae that are like, this definitely, I mean, when you look at the size of this cortex, he really probably had some very interesting thoughts in the last 10 or 20 seconds of his life. I mean, probably vistas opened up that his dull mind had never conceived of before. So I don't think I'm on the wrong track entirely. After the first, he's moved some stuff around, he's got some organs. There was something in his chest cavity that was developing but didn't make it. It looks like a kind of like a human fetus, but elongated. And fetuses have big heads, but this thing had a big head. So he was gestating something. And again, Red is like, we don't really, to tell you the truth, Mo, the stuff is so difficult to pin down in the first place that like we've really not experimented much with combining different doses or insertion methodologies. So this is really opens up a whole new can of whatever these are.
It is fascinating, Doctor. if it could somehow induce sentience, to your point, on the base matter, imagine what it can do on sophons or something that is already intelligent.
Oh yeah, sometimes the tissue grows erratically, and sometimes it develops into really promising new germlines. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of them are smart, or at least canny. And what he's sort of mopping up, uh,
I'm keeping an eye out on his his thermostats and to see if he's trying to pick anything out again.
yeah, he's definitely labeling samples.
Right.
He's not sticking anything. He's
He's
not
like,
opening his protective stuff and
right.
pocketing a spleen or anything. But he could come back here potentially, and I mean, some of these things are going to be tested in the facility. After you've been in there for a while, Cyan comes in and says, "Oh God, I thought you'd be done by now. Are you finished? I want to get rid of this one. I want to we have a furnace run. I'd like to incinerate this with the rest of the batch if you don't need it." And Red is like, I've got the parts I want. Do you need anything, robot?
No, may I accompany you to the furnace? I want to understand how these specimens are disposed.
I suppose you people just want to be everywhere and watch everything. That's fine with me.
I can
How
help
about,
carry it.
well, I mean, we have invented the wheel, friend. And he makes a sort of show. There's the hominid corpse was dumped into a bin, and the squid-like thing is dumped into a bin, and he sort of links them together. Um, and goes to not the door you entered that lab in, but a door on the other side. And it's got, your biohazard insignia and a little fire marker and like some chemical, warning stuff. There's other bins of mundane trash in here, crunched up paper and, Schlorm cans and whatnot. Uh, and he just starts, he pushes the jolly red button and sticks his thumb on the thing, and the door opens, and there's a low flame rumbling, and he just starts shoving stuff in. He's gonna, start with one bin and move on. You're gonna help
Is this
shove?
the only? I'm sure there are more furnaces, but is this the only? Like, is there only one door in and out, or are there multiple, like back doors or side doors into this
This
room?
is this has a door directly from the anatomy lab,
Yep.
and a door adjacent to it, which leads to a corridor. It goes back to the main lab,
Okay.
but
Okay.
there's no other egress. It's just two doors in from laboratory areas to the furnace.
Understood. I'm just trying to see if specimens were to escape, they could they'll probably be able to go through other doors and not back through the main lab door to your point. Because there's two.
Um, yes, if you're looking for a mechanism for getting out of the facility, it wouldn't be here. Nothing that comes into the furnace room leaves except in the form of thoroughly degraded ash product and carefully, the venting system is very thorough so that, nothing's getting out that's active.
I don't understand then, Doctor. How would Doctor Yellow or whichever one was freeing the mutants? How would the other Doctor then be able to affect the escape of the different mutated Johnsons, if not through this egress?
I think assuming that you're right,
Well, he did confess to it.
that he's taking them out, it wouldn't be through, and there wouldn't be any egress from the laboratory. This is the most secure place in the entire complex. It could be closer to the habitations, or it could be in the, sort of, facilities area. I've never had the remotest interest in seeing that jungle. So I don't have any idea.
Understood.
Why don't you meet up with your friends? I have work to do.
Of course, Doctor. And then I head over. Um, as I do want to know, because Cyan, I think, was the one that obviously was very melodramatic about how noble everything is and things like that. I want to see if he had any reaction to just what's been happening, right? Because he was the one talking about, oh, that they shouldn't be treated this way and things like that. So, like, did he
Well,
see?
he's the one who's taken you into the furnace room.
Right.
And he does, it is, so you're asking him what exactly?
Oh, so I'm getting his take on the situation of both these specimens that appear, sometimes almost sentient, and then also obviously the security director, who clearly is sentient and being exposed to the compound, the serum.
That certainly is terrible and shocking what happened to Isaiah. I wouldn't wish such an experience on my worst enemy. That's certain. And this whole matter is very upsetting. It's very
What do you
upsetting.
think would happen, Dr. Cyan, if this serum was weaponized and this is across the galaxy?
Well, that would be entirely unacceptable. We are not in the business of helping sentient creatures harm other sentient creatures. That's abhorrent, of course. Now, excuse me, I just, it gets rather hot in here when you.
Of course. May I suggest considering the development of a neutralizing agent in case, even with the best of intentions, malactors can misuse your magnum opus. You do not want your legacy tarnished.
Well, that's all the more reason for you to find the data drive, because I think that generating a neutralizing antidote, if you will, then we won't be able to do that without the data drive. It's years and years and years of experiments, reams and reams of data, nothing that we can hold in our heads. So why don't you go about your business and find that for us, won't you?
Absolutely, Doctor.
I'm sure it's hidden in one of the other's habitats, or it's that Debicki woman. I guess I might have considered it might have been Hudson, but I guess it wasn't.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doctor. And then I head back to where the gang is.
So, mid-afternoon, you have to go through the cleansing area again. You can put on new hazard suits if you want and get rid of those. You pass through the main lab on your way. The Johnsons are all there except for Red and Cyan, puttering away. They're looking at mysterious, sine waves on screens and using pipettes and generally being science-y. And you go through the cleansing area and back into the sort of habitable areas. And you're headed to Hudson's.
Yeah, and I'm keeping gloves on at all times now.
I'm going to head back to the main security lab to trace where Hudson had been in the sort of hour before he died to see if, he was places he shouldn't be and then saw things or things like that. So I'm doing that research too, based on his access cards sort of logs.
Petra, Chauncey, do you want to check the Darwin bot? See if there's a part.
We got to check everything.
Yeah.
How do we get to it? Can we call it here?
By now.
We should probably eventually talk to the other guy again, the one that didn't really care.
Alec, yeah, for sure. He's next.
He clearly wasn't concerned by the death nor the risk of compromise. And he enjoyed the sandwich.
And he's a known smuggler, so I'm guessing Hudson probably saw him with the disc and Alec killed him. And so we're just going to security to see if we can find the proof.
And Hudson appeared not alarmed or concerned when we met him, so perhaps he didn't even realize what he had seen, but he was taken care of nonetheless.
Or the two were working together and he killed his partner.
True.
Good point. Could be all of those things.
Maybe we check the cleaning bot and then talk to Alec.
Well, we got to get to the security place first, right? And then talk to Alec.
Should have brought along Hercule Poirot on this one.
Who? Who the fuck's
famous
that?
detective.
We do all have little gray cells, Doctor. Well, most of us. I do not.
You probably have something little and grayish. So
let's hope that stay that way.
The security office and Hudson's habitation are in the outer station, adjacent to the landing dock, whereas the stockroom and Alec's habitation are in the habitation section. Also, the nerve center that Moore would be looking for is in the outer station, right? No.
Which are we closer to right now?
You leaving the lab section through the clean room. Basically, you can go through door A into the outer station or door B into the habitation. They're equal.
Security.
So Petra wants to go to security first. Moore wants to go to Hab first, the nerve center. Who's going with whom?
I'm sticking with Dameron.
Yeah, we were to go. You said we hadn't been to the security place, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're going. It's where I'm going. And Doc is coming with me.
And Chauncey and Petra are all okay.
Yeah.
So Moore will send Moore off to the nerve center again. And you're looking specifically to track Hudson's behavior between when you last saw him and when you saw him in the canteen.
Correct. And if they do need the Darwin disabled, I'm sure I could use that to call the bot to wherever it needs to go and perhaps even shut it down so they can poke at it.
Okay.
If it's centralized that way or networked that way.
Okay. So we'll head to the security office first. And it's between the landing platform and the body of the station. You know, everybody had to pass through. This is where you signed your paperwork, etc.
Let's hope he stashed a few more guns away. Eh?
Well, yeah. Does he have all of our weapons that were, or we had to leave those at the space? Yeah.
Yeah. So the security office itself is currently unmanned. It's not unlike you'd expect. There's sort of a secure airlock on either side of it from the landing station and then into the station proper, but not a whole cleansing unit. The one that goes to landing dock is more secure in case there's a breach out there. There's a few computer interfaces. There's a bunch. There's the Janus Corp futuristic equivalent of a bank of 30 little screens that show the station. There's an ergonomic chair that squeaks really loudly if you sit in it. There's a plastic potted plant. There's an obvious weapon stash in his desk that is currently empty. It's probably the firearm that Colton is carrying. And it has one other door that doesn't lead to the landing area or into the station proper, and that your Alpha card will admit you to. And it's a habitation that's a little bit nicer than what the Johnsons get, but not as nice as what Debicki gets. Um, he definitely was a Tobacco X user. There are yellow stains on the ceiling, and the place smells of Tobacco X. Um, he has a bunch of empty soda and near beer cans. He was not a tidy fellow. Um, some dubious reading material open on the unmade bed, and the weapons locker that has it's a heavy metallic object with a well-bolted door, partly transparent so you can see your weapons inside, and there's a handprint reader to open it.
So we can't get in that.
No, easily. I'm going to start showing some respect to the room on a deeper level.
I want to check out his room.
That's where I'm going to go. Is searching his habitat.
Yeah, there's a few changes of clothes. There's a pair of boots with a big stained hole where he obviously shot himself in the foot at some point in the past. There are a bunch of empty Tobacco X canisters like under the bed with dust bunnies. Empty decaf coffee cups, stained. No pictures of family. And if he had a private digital unit of some kind, it's not in evidence. Maybe he just, used the station's array for his entertainment in that regard. Nothing that looks like a data disk. Nothing that looks like a secret hiding place. Yeah, I think it looks like a dead end.
Well, we might need to get the bot in here to get through this handprint reader.
Do you want to summon Darwin?
No.
Yes.
Mo.
Yeah, let's
We
bring him here. We got to search the damn thing.
Darwin, yeah. But I was referring more to Mo, our computer bot.
I'd say there's a chance this probably isn't the first handprint reader we've come across in our line of work. Is there any chance we've had experience with disabling one before?
I don't have any electronic skills, so
yeah.
I have.
Well, the Teamsters should be able to open up a panel, cross two wires, and suddenly
I do have jury rigging.
Yeah.
We could try to jury rig something.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Okay.
Why don't you roll with that skill? Roll
yeah. So I rolled a 31 and I have a 50. Am I reading that right? Got
and you're using intellect
my skill bonus. I'm trained. So 10 plus.
Good. Yeah, it's gonna, you have to wiggle some crap around and get out your, little sonic screwdriver equivalent. And when you get the panel open, everyone is a little different, but it would have been a lot easier if you just chopped his hand off, assuming that it hadn't changed that much in the last 5 minutes of his life. But you can pop it open, and it has a couple of pulse rifles in addition to whatever armaments you brought with you.
All right, hand them out. No discs.
Nothing like a data disk in there.
Okay.
Reunited at last with my favorite smart rifle.
Mm. I'm sure the Johnsons are going to feel a lot safer.
I mean, this thing deals 4d10 damage, so I'm sure they'll feel very safe.
Hey, while I'm trying to figure out this locker, why doesn't somebody else look at his security desk and see, if maybe you could figure out why he got killed?
Um, you
Yeah.
can you can back and forth some recent tapes without having to do anything very complicatedly scientific. The two arrows to the left, the two arrows to the right sort of work. One problem is that the security system, because Janus Corp is cheap, is in black and white, so all of the Johnsons look exactly identical. You cannot tell what color is what. And a bunch of bald men with glasses scurrying about back and forth uh, isn't very interesting. And if Hudson noted anything today that he found worth following up and he didn't contact you, he didn't write it down on a sticky note either. Um, so there's nothing clearly happening at the security console. Uh, more, you have to buzz around a little bit because mostly the comings and goings are just marked by security clearance, alpha, beta, and gamma. They don't all have a name tag attached to them. But if you sort of poke around a little bit, you can sort of look for a serial number sort of thing. As far as you can tell, Isaiah Hudson, after he went back to the security desk, after you met him at the canteen in the morning, he seems to have gone to the canteen and back from his area twice. He doesn't appear to have penetrated any farther into the station.
Am I able to see who else might have been at the canteen around those times to have seen him or interacted with him? Except us, I mean.
Everyone in the station has been in and out of the canteen a couple of times.
Okay, but no overlapping.
It's the social hub. Yeah, it would be pretty hard to. It would really take a while to parse out which gamma was there at any given moment. But it's not. It's just sort of comings and goings. It looks like a hallway.
Okay,
essentially.
In that case, I'm just going to use the computer to summon Darwin to the room of Hudson, and then if I can, also set it to shut down. If not, and I have to physically go there to shut it down, I'll do that too.
All right. I mean, anybody can summon Darwin for a mass, but you can, I'm sure, ping him specifically. So you want to follow it over to Hudson so that
Correct.
you can...
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll follow it and then shut it down.
Yeah. So Darwin beeps and boops his way. Actually, you meet it passing out of the habitation area into the outer station.
I try to have small talk with Darwin if that's the thing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem smart. They did not. Maybe it's a security thing for Janus Corp. They don't want a very cognizant cleaning a creature.
Can I ask Darwin if he's ever recently cleaned something that looked like the storage device?
Right?
It's like, hey, have you seen something in the you've been everywhere, Darwin.
It's not that smart, but if you can probably generate an image
Right.
on a tablet or something of the
Right.
data drive and spin it through dimensions
Right.
and
then
hit query,
right.
and a little light goes beep boop boop beep
Yeah.
boop beep boop
Or
boop in a
have it go
circle.
find if that's a thing where how many cleaning bots are there? Can I wire all the cleaning bots to look for this?
It looks like this station is cleaned by Darwin. It looks like
Okay.
Darwin's a full service guy. Maybe he has some Roombas that he can shoot off,
Okay.
but they're probably in him
Right.
most of the time.
Right. It's like a drone ship except for cleaning.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
And
I'm going to send that
it's
query.
all it knows is like this is a mess. It's got like an idea how things look when they're tidy, and when something's
Yeah.
out of place, it gets that. It doesn't
Okay.
know the difference between an Erlenmeyer flask and a microscope,
Right.
but it recognizes a spilled sandwich or a human head.
Okay. So it doesn't detect or has any recollection in its data
Yeah.
banks. Okay, that's fine.
It probably did not vacuum up the data drive in the last 48 hours or whatever, since
Good
it's
to know.
very
Good to
limited
know.
memory drive
Right.
is used.
Right. So
I'm
yeah, I follow
curious,
it.
curious about something. A few minutes ago, you said if you were to strip all of the Johnsons naked, they would be identical, except that some are a little older.
I'm sure
They
they've
were-
had injuries, like marks, right?
I mean, do any of them have injuries, or are any of them crippled in any way? Like,
You haven't seen anything like a scar. They're definitely, they're less distinct by age than you expect members of the regular population would be, because their lives are so similar. But some of them are a little rosier than others. Some of them are a little more sallow. Some of them, have buzzed what's remains of their hair
Yeah.
more recently than others. But if you lined them up and paid attention, or got a good AI to train on them, you could tell them apart without their color. But in passing, if you don't have them to compare next to each other, it's just like all one Johnson.
so the real differences tend to be in their attitudes and the way they
Yeah.
do things.
Well, there's nothing here in security, so, well, except our guns, which thankfully we have now. So let's go confront Alec.
Did you recover any materials did you have a weapon on you more?
I had a scalpel. That's the only thing I
I
have.
think you took that with you.
Okay.
I think that
Yeah.
the security thought you could go that hog wild with a scalpel. So
I was not otherwise armed, but if there's a pulse rifle or something, then I'll take one along with me.
you can
Yeah,
hurt
you-
yourself. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was armed coming on, so I grabbed one of the pulse rifles.
Fair enough. Okay. And Darwin doesn't have like an off switch, but you can sort of get him to go into standby,
It's like flip it around. Yeah.
and there's no reason to believe that there's any storage device inside him. He's got some. He's pretty multifunctional, and his chassis is pretty solid. He's got a lot of limbs that can do stuff, but he doesn't have his like vacuum area is the only hollow place, and it's like got some residue of probably Isaiah Hudson, but only a little bit because he flushes things out. He's as an orderly. He's a high-end cleaning thing because they only have one in the complex. No data drive there. Off to visit this the other remaining human being.
I just want to make sure before we go that nothing new has happened to any of the Johnsons. They all seem on the cameras, they seem to be doing okay.
Let's see. So yeah, I mean, there's you see Johnson's puttering around in the main lab. There are 5 Johnsons visible in the main lab at the moment.
And there's normally 7?
There are
Is that
7
right?
Johnsons in total,
Yeah.
but there are, other places they might be working.
that we can't see on the security cameras?
You want to flip around and see if you can locate any of their human activity?
Yeah, I mean, you said there was like a bank
Mm-hmm.
of screens.
Yes. There's currently a Johnson in the decontamination room, and there's a Johnson entering the lab complex from the utility sector.
So they're all okay.
They're all moving about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. All right, let's go confront the smuggler.
Right. Off to find Alec. He is back in that, presumably he's in the habitation area.
Oh yeah, can we see him on the cameras anywhere?
He is, you can see Erica on the phone screen yelling at somebody. Can't make out who they're talking to, but she's in her office. Uh, and yeah, Alec is in the stockroom with his feet on the desk,
All right,
fiddling with something in his hands.
let's go.
You, as you leave, Darwin also lights up, turns around and heads off to some other duty. Um, it takes a few minutes to make your way from the outer area into the habitation. When you get there, and you alpha the door panel, it slides open. He's no longer fiddling with whatever he had in his hand, but he's typing away at his computer. And he looks up with a really pissy, annoyed face. Like, well, I guess it's only a matter of time until you clowns came here to bother me. So
Yep, it's
have a
your turn.
look-see.
Sure.
And he very notably closes whatever it was he was doing on his computer. And he says, I'm going to go to the canteen while you nitwits bumble around here. If you need anything, you can get me on the comms.
How about you
No.
stay right here?
Yeah, stay here.
Fuck's sake. All right.
So I go to the computer where he was playing to turn it back on and see what he was looking at. I will note that he does appear more aggressive than previously.
Is there a way for us to scan to see if he has electronics on his person? Like in his pocket? Or
I mean, you don't have a tricorder or anything. It'll probably involve Chauncey and Dameron respecting him.
apparently I have a flamethrower. Would that work?
That would be effective at reducing. Was not a electronic.
I'm just like, it's a lonely gig, but it's a good gig. I keep the place well stocked. I mind my own business. I don't know why you think you can subject me to this nonsense, but I guess until whatever they find the
Well,
doohickey.
come on, Alec. We know that you're the person who can get the things that,
It also didn't seem very
it's
broken up.
You're obviously the person who would most easily be able to take this data desk and move it. So,
I mean, what about, we don't ship anything out of here. We ship things in.
But you're a smuggler.
I resent that. I'm a facilitator.
All right, you're a facilitator. If that disc would be awfully valuable.
It'd be awfully hot. I mean, I'm like, I can get you some Tobacco-X if you need some Tobacco-X. I can get Blue, a couple of extra reams of paper every month if he's nice to me. If you need some happy pills, talk to me. Try corporate espionage? What the hell do I need with that hassle?
Well, it just seems
my pay
like
grade.
Some other corporation like Gaia would pay millions of credits for such a thing.
How do you feel about a light frisking?
You can imagine how I feel about a light frisking, for fuck's
Ha-
sake.
How do you feel about a not so light frisking
Yeah, I
then?
prefer it light,
Sure.
smartass. Petra, I thought we had a little understanding.
Oh, totally. Like, you seem like a nice guy. I'd do the same thing if I were in your shoes. You got to make a
We're
couple
not
bucks on the side. These corporate people don't pay shit. But, like, I got to do my job too, right?
we're not doing
Yeah.
an internal body cavity search or anything.
Not yet. I'm
Yeah.
doing a
I
light
do have a
frisking.
bioscanner.
Light frisking is happening.
Yeah.
Using the back of your hand.
I I had that experience at the airport recently. Uh, Chauncey, I guess it's an intellect roll, right?
Okay. Yeah. Nope. That's a 75 over a 34.
Yeah, I don't know what training would be particularly helpful anyway. Yeah.
Piloting my way around the body.
Uh, the it's not obvious. Just seeing the guy hang around, but Alec has a prosthetic leg.
Ah,
And he's a little fidgety when you notice when it makes a little sound when you tap on it and it's different. It's a little
Yeah.
bit like, you know.
Could you hide
Here,
something
Chauncey,
in there?
perhaps my bioscanner
that-
would help your
Doc-
efforts.
The
And I
doctor
have
is
my
thinking
bio.
what I'm thinking.
I mean, if
It's
you
not
want
the
to
leg.
scan them, scan away.
You would just so happen to I want to tap his leg with the butt end of my rifle.
How attached
There
is
would be
that?
anything tucked away in here, would there?
Yeah. Nothing that you need to worry about.
No, see, that makes me want to worry about it just a little bit.
Is it the full leg, including the thigh, or is it just under the kneecap? Like, how big's the possible area?
It is hip down, and as you're figuring that out, he kind of reaches into his pants and he pulls out a plasteel pistol and says, I, reserve the right to defend myself from these freaks. Okay? You know?
I
Fucking
think that
Hudson,
is
who
perfectly
obviously
sound.
can't keep us safe. I didn't trust him. So, since I've got this situation anyway, I maintain a peace for my insecurity. Are you happy? And he waves it around a little nervously, but not like, oh, you caught me. Exactly. More like, you're not sure this guy knows how to handle a firearm.
How about you hand that over to me?
How about you fuck the fuck off?
I'm gonna hit him.
Yeah, I think that will take him by surprise. Are you using your fist or the butt of one of the things you're carrying?
Probably the butt of one of the things I'm carrying because I'm not very nice.
Yeah, that's awful. Uh, you know, you open up his chin, his jaw snaps shut with an unpleasant sound. He falls on his ass and, drops the plasteel pistol, which spins away on the hard floor, and he covers his face, and his curses are spelling out a little bit of blood and spittle.
Look at me very closely. Here's what
Yeah.
nobody seems to understand. I am in charge. So when I tell you what to do, you listen the first time. I'm going to take it. I'm going to pocket his gun. Do we have an understanding?
Uh-huh. He says yeah, and he projects his full intention to make sure you don't get out of this compound alive. On the other hand, what's he gonna do? It's like, yeah, whatever you say, you fucker. Just look
Speaking
around
of,
and get out.
what else? I gotta take his leg and see if there's like some secret chamber in it or
Yeah, that was it.
some.
It's, it's biomechanical. Most of that space is used to operate the foot. Just had a
Okay.
little compartment, probably a pretty dinky gun to fit inside that.
Yeah.
But it goes
That's
through most
probably where he
scanners.
also smuggles things and yeah. Okay. Search the rest of the place. I know Moore's looking at his computer to see what he was looking at.
Uh, he's there's six windows of various kinds of pornography. There's a couple of equipment catalogs. There's an encrypted messaging service. There's a kind of a diary that looks like he mostly, I don't know, he read some dream interpretation book.
I'm in search through his browser history in case there's useful information.
That's the kind of stuff you find.
He's probably going to
That's
react even more
representative.
violently knowing that.
I mean, he's sort of like, he's grabbed some soft thing to hold against his face and he's sullenly leaning against the wall and just kind of waiting for this to end.
Do any of the messages seem to imply any financial difficulties, anything that might be a motive for money?
Well, the all
Like,
the
is he paying for a lot of OnlyFans and he needs some money to support it? Like,
all the evident history, it's just mundane, but there is, an encrypted message system.
and that's not accessible without. Like when you say encrypted, is the messaging system encrypted, but I could see the messages, or I can't even log in to review the
Yeah,
content?
when he shut that window, he signed off from this thing, so it's going to require some hacking and some time if you want to.
Or some cooperation, perhaps, for his
Mhm.
password.
Oh, you got to
Marine
be
Colton, I believe I will need some assistance accessing the system. I need a password and an ID.
You've got to be fucking kidding me. You fucking I mean, this has nothing to do with you. Just
If it helps, I will commit to erasing this part of the information from my memory if there is nothing to recall.
uh I don't think that Alec's gonna.
I've done the same courtesy for the other doctors, which you might know.
Yeah, I have a feeling that he tells you to fuck off 4 times, and as soon as Colton walks within 3 feet of him, he spills because it hurts.
I was gonna say it's like my robot friend here is deputized by yours truly. So when he tells you what to do, you do it.
Um, yeah. So he gives you a password. It does contain the word slurp. And you'll need some time to look through his messages.
Yep, I'll do that.
And I assume the rest of you are going to go through his room because
Yeah.
why not add insult to injury?
Yeah.
Well, if others are going through his room, I'm going to go through the storage area.
Yeah, I'm here anyway, so none of us would be alone.
Right.
Are you guys taking him with you, or are you leaving him here?
I mean, the stock room and his habitation are adjacent. So he's
Okay,
got his
yeah.
little miniature office, and then there's metal shelves with the materials that the shipments he's taking in and haven't yet distributed, and then his habitation is adjacent to it. So nobody's far away.
Okay.
So we'll take a station turn to hack and to search. His personal space is well organized, tidy. His clothing is clean. You do notice that some of his garments have concealed pockets, and some of them are lined with sort of Teflon-y fabric so that they blank out on scanners. He doesn't seem to have bad habits. His bed is neat. In terms of the stockroom, there's, stationery, there's protective material, there's fluids and compounds and whatnot. If you poke around long enough, inside a cardboard box of protective booties that go over shoes, there's a hidden lining in which there is a 5 pouches of what you recognize as science powder, which is an addictive stimulant derived from plant leaves from the core world that can be snorted through the nose, rubbed on the gums, injected into the bloodstream, or smoked. It's fairly potent stuff. And again, it tends to generate dependence over time.
I mean, we can leave that. It's not what we're here for.
And by time you've turned over the stockroom and found some science powder, Moore has decoded a series of messages back and forth between Alec and Peyton Sterling, a noticeable interplanetary pharmaceutical company to whom he has been selling secrets from Janus Corp for significant sums of money. And on that cliffhanger, we shall end this week.
Next week on Poirot.
Above my pay grade, my ass.
Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Billy Chung, Kent Blue, Steve Anderson, and myself, with David Gassaway as the game warden. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the strange and sometimes terrifying universe of the Mothership role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.